What's up, guys? So today I compiled a KO power tier list. You guys will see who I put on this tier list. I have some of the top UFC fighters here. Any casual can know them, so this shouldn't be a hard tier list to follow. It should be actually controversial. And but actually I don't even think it will be controversial. I think it's kind of obvious. Lots of people have a high opinion on this tier list on who has the most KO power in the UFC. And yeah, but let me just explain what these tiers are. We have touch of death. This is basically where you get hit by them with a lucky shot, you're out, lights out. You'll see who I put on that tier list. I think it's kind of obvious. Or maybe for some of you it's not that obvious, but you'll see who I put on that category. We have very good power. They have, like it says, they have very good power. If you're not careful, it's lights out. But you definitely have a good chance of surviving. If you have your guard up, if you're in the clinch, or if it's just ground and pound. But if you're not careful, it's lights out. And next we have average. So basically this is the MMA fighter who has not very good power, but they still have power, and if you're not careful you can get KO'd pretty easily. But 100%, like maybe 80% of the time, they don't really get the knockout, but there is still that 20% chance you can get knocked out. And next we have the thud category. So this is where basically they have little KO power. You 100% or 90% of the time you won't get KO'd by them, but still there's still that little percent of chance you can get KO'd by them if you're not careful. But most of the time they're not really a threat at all. And next we have you'll do nothing. This is the person who has no KO power at all. Even if you would get hit with a jab, you would probably feel nothing. And they just have a horrible KO power. They just have horrible KO power. You see, there's probably only one person on this category, or two people, probably one. But this person has horrible KO power. They can't do anything on the octagon. Well, when it comes to knocking out somebody. So first we have Colby Covington. So Colby Covington would probably go on thud. Not really that much KO power. Most of the time, he's just trying to survive in there and just put out high volume of punches. So he's not really looking to KO you. He's really just looking to end the fight with cardio. That's his main thing. It's cardio. He has the third lung, so he's looking to end the fight with that third lung, and he's looking to get the decision. He's not really gonna KO you, but there's still that small chance he can. There's always these UFC fighters who have that small chance of KOing somebody. Example was prime Tony Ferguson, but most of the time they're not looking for that knockout. They're just looking to end the fight with a decision. They say that they're looking to end the fight with a knockout, but they really won't. Next we have Nate Diaz. Also, he's looking to just survive the fight, look for a decision, and so far in his career he has a good chin, really good chin. But when it comes to KO power, he's just looking to use his cardio, conserve his energy, be efficient with his punches, or not efficient sometimes. But that's Nate Diaz. He is not really looking to KO you in there. Next we have I'm gonna go with Conor McGregor. We'll go with Conor McGregor next. He's average. He doesn't have very good KO power right now currently. Before he had that, I would probably put him in the touch of death before, but now he's probably just average. He doesn't have very good KO power. He doesn't have too little. And if you're not careful, he can probably KO you, but he can't really do anything right now in the octagon. Let's just put it at that. And we didn't see him in the octagon for a while, so next we have Max Holloway. Actually, no, I'll go with Movsar Evloev. He has 3 KOs in his whole entire career, so he's not really looking for the knockout. He definitely can end the fight with a knockout, but most of the time, probably 99% of the time, he's just looking to wrestle or is just looking for high volume strikes. Next we have Brandon Moreno. Very good power. Most of the time you have to be careful with him, especially on the feet. Not much to say on Brandon Moreno, but he has very good power, I feel. You guys can comment, or you guys can talk about it with yourselves, what kind of power he has. But I feel like he has very good power. Next we have Max Holloway. I feel like I can put him in average. He doesn't have very good power, definitely, but he does have a little bit of KO power, and he's a very good striker, so he doesn't really need to have very good power. He definitely has that power, I feel, because just look at his past opponents. His past opponents are just an absolute mess after they fight him. So he has that power, but he doesn't knock you out with it. But still, good power, but not very good power. Next, we have Ilia Topuria. Ilia Topuria, or Ilia Topuria, he has that touch of death. He knocked out Max Holloway. He knocked out Alex Volkanovski. Very good power. We'll see how he does against Islam Makhachev. And yeah, what else can I say? Knocking out Alex Volkanovski and Max Holloway is very good, and he just seems to have that touch of death. Very good power. If you get caught by his punch, it's lights out. Next, I would go with Michael Chandler. Michael Chandler, very good power. His knockout of Tony Ferguson was one of the scariest knockouts I've ever seen in my life, and I would be very careful if I were to fight him. He just throws wild punches in there, doesn't care. And if you get caught by one of those haymakers, it's lights out, definitely. Very good power. And next we have Paulo Costa. I put him in the you'll do nothing category. He cannot really knock out anybody, I feel. He has like you feel like he has that knockout power, but he doesn't. Even his kicks, they can't really put out anybody. He's just looking to most of the time bludgeon you and use lots of strikes to win the fight. But I feel like he has no KO power at all. I feel like he didn't knock out anybody in his whole entire career. He had like technical knockouts, but no KOs in his whole entire career. I don't feel like he ever will. His strikes are just pillow punches. but he's looking for that decision win. He's looking to not knock you out, but uses cardio and no knockout power whatsoever. I feel like he has, and it's strange because he's such a big guy, so it's weird. Next we have Alex Pereira. Obviously, touch of death. If you get hit by that left hand, it's lights out. He's also a kickboxer. Also, you see what he did to Jiri Prochaska. He was going for the body, and then conditioning him for the body, and then went up high. His kicks are very good. You get hit by that kick, it's lights out. He knocked out Israel Adesanya, which is very hard to do in his prime. Now it's kind of easier, but in his knocking out Israel Adesanya in his prime is something to be proud of, and he's a scary fighter. Next we have Sean O'Malley. Sean O'Malley, I would put him in the very good power. Yeah, very good power. Knocked out Aljamain Sterling. I feel like he also has a powerful left hand. He has powerful hands. He can punch really good. And if you're not careful, he's a sniper. And if he finds your chin, it's lights out. Next we have John Jones, who people say is currently ducking Tom Aspinall. I would put him in the average category. So he has power, but not too much. I don't really know who he really knocked out in the UFC. I didn't look at his his profile, but he has KO power, and if you're not careful, if it like his last fight, if you're exposing the body, he can go for the body and go for that. It wasn't even a liver shot, but he KO'd Stipe with a kick to the body. So if you're not careful and if you're exposing that part, he can KO you. He doesn't really KO that much people. I think most of his fights went to decision, and but he's definitely one of the GOATs in the career. If you're not careful, most of the time he won't knock you out. I don't think he has very good KO power. You guys let me know what you think. But I don't think he has a very good KO power. But yeah, that's it for my tier list. I hope you. I don't. I don't know if you guys will agree with this tier list, but this is what I feel. I feel like John Jones has that average KO power. And Sean O'Malley, I feel like he has very good KO power. I think people say that he doesn't have KO power at all, but he definitely does. I just feel like he's a skinny white kid who has that KO power. He's one of those fighters that look weak and they're just skinny, but they have that dog in them. And if you're not careful, it's lights out. And also, I think it's obvious Alex Pereira and Topuria are at the touch of death. Scary UFC fighters right now. And someone who I think has no KO power, Paulo Costa. You guys let me know what you think.